Contact has begun. The greatest event in human history. It is an intervention. We are the native peoples. And here's what we need to do. Most calls for disclosure that I hear are conspiracies about human governments and their agenda, or human groups, human elites. And most calls for disclosure are demands for disclosure from the government. Nobody demands disclosure from the extraterrestrial presence.
Yeah.
In fact, they treat the government kind of like it's the dumpster of human ethics, and they treat the ET visitors as if it's like an adventure in consciousness, like it could be anything. There's no ceiling on the profundity and the wonder of contact with these beings. And of course, these beings are happy to play into that narrative. Yeah. They'll tell us basically anything we want to hear. The return of a savior, the return of Jesus Christ, the raising our frequencies or ascension, or any of these ideas could be played into, even if they're authentic, even if they're true. Our greatest spiritual aspirations can be slowly manipulated in this way. This is the next great step we are meant to take. This is potentially the one great event that could end human conflict in the world, and that could cause us to rally to heal the environment of the world. We are one people on a finite planet facing a universe of intelligent life. And the power of that to both inspire the kind of positive human action that's needed, but also to activate this deeper awareness within us, which is we know we are more than just of a humankind. We know we are connected to the greater fabric of life in the universe. That's where we're headed. We need to be discerning as we step out into this larger panorama of life. Because there's what we want contact to be, and then there's what is. There is reality, and they're not the same. And if we want to play around with the phenomenon and make an entertainment industry out of it, or just consume more information, make more connections, well, we're chasing our wants and desires, unaware of what those are. Or do we want to treat this as a great natural event facing the human species that we must responsibly approach and navigate and move through so that we can become a participant in a larger universe? Unity. We absolutely must become advocates for reconciliation and compassion and unity as much as possible. Not advocates for one political aisle or the other, not outspoken, outraged by our religion or multiple religions. We need to restore our faith in one another. And unfortunately, some of us have gone down the dark alleyway of losing our faith. We need to bring our awareness back to Main Street reality. And so that does mean coming back to a message of world unity and empowerment and trust in one another. See, that is a message coupled with an environmental message and a discretion message that the world can hear. Because if we go too far down the black alleyway, in investigating the deep state or, all of these sub-realities and sub-levels, we're basically leaving the rest of the world who is not looking at this.
Very interesting thing that I've heard you say on other shows is, this isn't like, this is for Christians, this is for Muslims, this is for atheists, this is for everybody.
Our modern world is growing and eclipsing the very revelations, ancient revelations that were given to reveal, that world in which we lived. Something new is needed. Something that doesn't box God in to some sort of human projection, of a father, of a judgmental Lord, and also doesn't make that exclusive to one culture, one group of people.
Well, listen, we've talked about the problems of the alien intervention and climate change. What is the solution then? What do we have to do?
Yeah, well, a number of things. We need to steward the Earth's resources more wisely than we are. We need to encourage human unity and cooperation around these major, historic challenges, scientific, technical, communicative, spiritual. I mean, this is a challenge at every level for us as human beings. And we also need to become aware and informed about life beyond our world.
Here's the thing, Ray. Let me be completely honest with you. When I knew you were coming on, I went to your website to look for the con. I was looking for the con. I was looking for the thing where it goes, and to find out more, send us $500. And there's nothing like that. That isn't on your website. There's nothing there. And then I was thinking, okay, but when he comes on, he'll put forward these ridiculous points and I'll be able to dismantle them. And I can't. Everything you're saying, it makes absolute perfect sense.
This is an effort to bring a message of activating the human heart to people at a very painful, desperate time in the world. And I think, the world is roiling in this feeling of anxiety and confusion and frustration because
I'm feeling that now for sure.
Here we are at this amazing cusp in the world where climate change is accelerating. Human mass migration is sweeping continents. Okay, we have an environmental calamity on our hands, and yet humanity has not come together, sat down at the table, and cooperated sufficiently.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think,
and really what the new message is here to do is to call forth a greater good in the human family.
Yeah.
And yet, no, there is no end times. There's no chosen time when certain people will be elevated beyond others. The human family goes on, and the question is, in what spirit does it go on?
Yeah.
How unified is it? And are we going to continue to degrade and plunder the world, threatening the very foundations of human civilization?
Wow. Well, Reed Summers, you've said it all. I don't know what I could possibly add to this. You really have.